Hey guys, and welcome back to Design Together, a channel here to help you become a stronger product designer. I'm Ahmed, I'm a product designer. I'm also the founder of Rogue UX, which is a design and marketing agency here in Toronto. In this episode, we are going to be building a responsive website. So this is the website that we're going to be building in this episode. So this is the desktop, this is the mobile version. Some snazz, some pizzazz, some coolness, and we're gonna be spending the next 30 minutes or so building this website. So grab a cup of coffee, grab a cup of tea, get comfortable, and let's get to it. So right here we have the starter file for the project. We got our frames, our main frames, and we got these components. This starter file is available in the link to the description of this video, so make sure to download it before continuing so you can follow along. If you want to learn how to build these components and what is the most efficient way to build components and how to build scalable components, make sure to check out the Figma crash course, because in those videos I talk a lot about components and design systems. But to save us some time, I've already built or pre-built some components so that we don't spend too much time on the components and focus more on the responsive design aspect of this video. So we're going to start first by building the mobile. And a question that comes up often is, why is it mobile first? Well, usually you start with mobile first because you have less space on mobile. So you're forced to focus on the most critical elements of the website. So you want to start with the least space possible and then go up from there and add more design and add more flair as you go up in sizes or frames. So let's start. First thing we're going to need for the website is we're going to need a header navigation and we're going to need a logo. So I'm going to grab my good logos over here. I'm going to click Command Dot to open my inspector. Inspector. Grab my handy dandy logo and toss it there, and also toss my hamburger icon. Now, we want to figure out how we're going to lay this out. So we need a layout grid so we have something to align to. So I'm going to hit Control G. And that opens up my layout grid. So I've already pre-built this layout grid, but let's take a look at it. It's a 4-column layout with 24 margins. So these are the margins, the padding on the right and left here. And our gutters, which is the space between each column, is 16. And if you are noticing, because you guys are so smart, these are all multiples of 8 because we're following an 8-point grid. Again, if you don't know what that is, check out the video, but essentially it's keeping a consistency when you're working with spacing so that everything's a multiple of 8, so it's easy to have things be consistent and spaced out evenly. Check out the Figma crash course for more information. So let's get to building our header navigation component. So now we have our hamburger icon and we got our logo. So let's put these both in a frame. I'm going to hit Shift A. And this adds them in a auto layout frame. Okay. So our header navigation is 24 from the right and left, and let's also make it 24 from the top. So now we got our header navigation component. So let's start building out our hero section, which is the main section that you'll see when you scroll into the page. So we're gonna need a header. So I'm gonna grab my handy dandy header right here and just plop that right in. If you want to play around with sizes, please feel free to do so. So I'm going to grab these two, and I'm also going to put them in a auto layout frame by hitting Shift A. So the spacing between them is 16. I think that's okay. Should we bring that down a bit? Yeah. So I brought that down to 8, so now the space between them will always remain 8. And then let's call this header. Oh, header component. Okay. Now our header component, we want it to be, let's say 64, a little too high. Let's go for 56. These are again all multiples of 8. So we got a header, we got a small header, a large header, and let's add our main call to action. So this is going to be a header. So actually, I guess I should explain. This page is a real estate page for a real estate agency. And our main goal here is to get people to look at listings and contact the team. So our hero component is actually going to be listing. So let's call this one primary CTA. And let's have it be spaced at, I don't know, let's go for 32. Not too bad. Maybe a little higher. Let's go for 40. That sounds good. And then I'm going to put both these components again in a frame by hitting Shift A. And I'm going to call this frame header CTA. Okay. So behind these, I think it would be nice to add an image. So I've already done that previously. So I'm going to grab my background image here, plop it in there to my iPhone frame, and bring this up above it. Okay. Let's align this to the right, and let's bring it up a little till it feels like it looks good. I think that looks alright. Maybe like we'll line it up to right to the header. Okay. Maybe we should get it ready. So again, Control G just to toggle in and out of these layout grids to see what it looks like. I think that looks okay. Okay. Oh, see, we almost missed the pixel there. So let's do 24. Perfectly aligned. Maybe we'll bring it up a little. And then let's grab these arrow keys, because this header component is going to be a slider, and toss them on top of the background image so that our user can click between our headers. And then grab our background image, grab our header CTA, and put both these Option Command G in a frame and call this hero section. Great. Now let's just bring this down a little to our I'm holding command down just to not to affect anything inside. And let's look back at it. It's 56 still. Amazing. This looks like it's clipped. I know what's happening actually. Let's clip our hero section. Clip that. Now it's clipped. We got a nice clean hero section, ladies and gentlemen. First part of the deal is done. But something I don't like here is this line, so let's bring these little down so it's white. That looks nicer. Yeah, there we go. Now we got our hero section. Easy peasy. Let's keep a move on. Now let's grab this, I don't know, paragraph or body. Toss her in there. Then I'm going to toggle on Control G. I'm going to have it aligned to the right. Also, if we're going to go with 56 between them, so I'm going to keep this also at, you guessed it, that's right, 56. And I'm holding Shift down to move in increments of 10. And then I'm going to grab my secondary CTA. So let's call this one secondary CTA. All right, governor. And then let's have this. So we had this spaced at what? 40. Let's do the same for our brother down here. 40. And then you know what we're going to do next? We're going to put it in a frame with auto layout applied, which means you click Shift A. Nice. What do you think we should call this component? We should call this I don't know. Let's see. Body CTA. Let's call that. Seems to be appropriate. Now to make this a little more interesting, what we could do, instead of having all this white around, is we can hit R. First of all, toggle these back on. And add like a little snazzy dazzy rectangle here. Maybe bring the height down to 2. Let's see what color green we have here. Let's grab this green. Control G again just to get rid of this. And let's maybe make that a little lighter. Just decrease the opacity a bit. That's 20, yeah, 20? Nah, a little darker. Let's go for 20. Alright. And that's more for like a UI element. It's not really to add any value. It's just to give a little more space or a little more dimension to the section. And let's have it be also 40. So we got 40 between this, and then let's do 40 as well between these two. Okay. And what we could also do is maybe we add a bit of a rectangle in the back. So let's toggle these back on. Let's duplicate our friend here and make him a lot larger, and have the body CTA be on top. And let's do something like this, just give the section a little more finesse. And if we're gonna do that, I think so. First of all, let's see what the space between. Let's make that 40. Okay, and then let's make the bottom 80. See how I'm following increments of 8, multiples of 8. One more. Okay, dude, chill out. All right, now let's bring this down a little so we could see our little friend here. And let's bring it back to 40 again. Turn off our columns. That looks a little dark. I think maybe maybe 20 was the better option. Little dark still, eh? What about 16? Better. Not bad. Not bad. Okay, and let's bring this to the edge. Alright, now we have our secondary CTA section. These are just UI elements. What if we added a color to this? Let's see what happens. I think I like that a little more, actually. Let's do that. Let's add the color. Okay, and let's grab all these guys. And first of all, turn my columns on. Everything looks good. Command Option G, put them in a frame. And I'm going to call this frame section or body CTA. You know what we should do? Section, body CTA, body CTA, and then let's reverse these around too. Let's go section, hero, and I'm going to call this line break. Okay, so we got a hero, line break, boom, 40, 40, everything looking good. I think we need an image as well for this, so maybe we actually increase our frame a bit here. And let's add one of these images, yo. So let's grab it, drag it into our body CTA section. And let's just increase this to the edges here. Okay. So it's right at the edge of it. And we had this rectangle run to the right side. So let's have this image actually run to the left side. And let's have the spacing of it equal that spacing, so also 40. That looks okay. Not bad. I think I like that. Looks clean, looks organized. And let's give it another one of them rectangles, yo. So let's turn on our columns. Control G. Oh, look at that, perfectly aligned. What would you know, mother? Bring them down to here. Looking nice, and let's give it 100%. Make it 100% opaque. Turn these off again. And I think we should also put the arrows for this as well, so they can actually flip between the images of this property. So So let's grab our handy dandy arrows here. Go inside our image frame and plop them on top. Do the same as we did for our friend. That out here looks like a proper section, innit? Oh, the guys from the UK always saying in it. So I'm just using that. I'm just adding it unnecessarily. In it. Okay. Bring this down. Now we got our section body CTA. Done deal. I think that looks good. So right now we got our header nav, hero section, and our section body CTA. You can see specific listings. You can see some properties. Let's make a section where it leads you to the neighborhoods that these properties are located in. So let's copy this again. Okay. Let's call this just BG shape. And if we're going to do that here, we might as well rename this one as well. BG shape. Okay. BG shape. Let's have this one run all the way. And also, we're keeping that 56 motto. So let's have that. Looks nice, huh? Looks nicely spaced out. If nice in it. Okay, so we got our 56 padding. We got our BG shape. Let's grab this header. Let's plop it in. First of all, let's open our columns, Control G. Make sure it is lined up, mate. Okay, that's lined up. 24, 26. That ain't right, isn't it? All right, 24, 24, and I think the top should be maybe. Let's go with 40. Better. And then let's grab this CTA here, plop it in there. So this is a neighborhood. I'm in Toronto. This is actually a neighborhood in Toronto. 24, 24, looking good. And what did we have this one here? We had this as 40. So maybe we do this as 40 as well. Yeah, I think that looks all right. Bring that down again to 40. So 3, 1, 2, 3. And then we got another section. I think something we could do here is actually make these text a little more compressed. So let's grab this guy down. Yeah, I go a little tighter. Little tighter. Nice. And then let's grab these two. 40. Hold command down, bring this down. Got 10 more. 2 more. 1, 2. So we got 24s on the side and 24s on the top. So let's put these both in a frame. Shift A. Let's call this call out. And let's grab these two. So now the spacing between them is always going to stay 40. This can fill the container. And let's grab this call out section and just bring it down. And also let's do the same. So like the items, these will always fill the container as it goes up and down. So fill container so we can easily stretch. Yeah. See how that works out? Stretch this component so it's responsive. Great. Now let's make it into another section. So grab them two, the BG shape and the call out. Again, Shift A. I'm going to call this one section call out. So in section call out, you got 40s on the top, 24s on the side, and right here, this call out, we're going to want to have it to fill container. And the top and the bottom, I think hug is good. So what we're going to do, so now when we move this around, our container or our section is still responsive. So we can make it bigger, smaller. We can do whatever we want. Almost there, ladies and gents. We got 3 sections built already. Getting there, getting there. So let's grab this little handy dandy, call it page header, 24, 24. Let's also grab them too and put them in a auto layout. So Shift A. I'm going to call this header. You can name it whatever you want to name it. And then let's grab a secondary button, one of these guys, and plop it down here. give it 40 spacing between it. Grab our header right here. Grab our secondary CTA. Shift A. Call this section header CTA. We're going to want to do the same for this button. So we want it to fill the container on the side. And as well, this header also, we want it to fill the width. Just want to make sure the things inside are also, yep, fill container. This one might be hard because there's a button or there's this weird shape inside of it. So let's just leave it like that for now. So we got this section header CTA. We should be able to, yeah, move it around. What we didn't do though is we should have this constraint to the left. Yeah, so bring that this way. There we go. Perfection. So now we got another responsive section. Moving on. So this company offers rental and sales. So let's go view rentals. You know what we should do? We should grab this image, grab the shape, right? These two. Let's call, and like we're gonna put them both in a frame. So Option Command G and call this image slider BG shape. Copy that. Let's go down and let's toss it underneath these rentals. So maybe you can also flip through the rentals. Nice. Let's bring them back here this side like we did with the other one. Go for 40, and then let's just rename this just header CTA, and then these two together would be section header CTA. Header. And if you get used to naming these conventions like the way I'm doing them, it's very common to name them like this when you're working with CSS and you're building actual websites. So even if you're doing the Figma to Webflow plugin, it's good to be in the habit of working with auto layout and naming your sections or your frames properly. But also make sure to check out the Figma to Webflow documentation for how to name your frames. Let's add auto layout to this one as well. 40, great. So this contact us form, try to build it yourself. It's just a header section with some text fields. Same method I followed. I made this text field, made it into auto layout so it's responsive. Yeah, header, text fields, button, and if you notice they're all fill, horizontal fills. You can grab this card and resize it to how you want, right? So pay attention to the vertical and horizontal resizing right over here. So let's just grab this, drag, drop it in the bottom, and we'll call this one contact form. Also space it at 56 like you guys have been saying. You guys are really liking that 56 for some reason. Done that, we grab our footer section, plop it in the bottom, and maybe we make this one, let's go for like an 80 because we're editing the page. Let's grab our home, bring it down, and if you're wondering what is going on here, it's just again the logo, some type, and some text links. So there you have it. We're already done our mobile screen. This is how it looks like. Pretty simple. So without further ado, let's get to the desktop. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. If you like what you're watching, if you're enjoying, you're having a good time, please like and subscribe to the channel. That would mean the world to me. Thank you for being here. And let's get to designing the desktop. Okay, so here is our desktop frame. So we're going to want to make this just a little bigger on desktop. So let's start off by using the components that I already created. So we'll grab our header nav component, plop it in. And sorry, before we do that, we should actually check out the layout grid on here. So Control G. So click on Home Desktop, check out the layout grid. This one is 12 columns. Okay, so 12 columns, 48 margins. So the spacing on the side here is 48, and the gutters are 32. Again, all multiples of 8. So this is your column or your layout grid for desktop. So this is our header navigation bar that shrinks down to this in mobile because we have more space on desktop. We can actually display the links. In mobile, you click the hamburger icon and the links would be displayed in the menu that comes maybe top down or from the side, however you want to design that. Up to you. We got our main call to action here, which is to contact them. You can search and you can view the properties. One thing we can add here is we can add also easy links, so like a banner, right? So that they can easily look at the page and know who to contact. So we got our number there and we got their email. That way, right when they land, they can either click this contact button or they can directly contact them or email them. Great! Let's keep her going. So we need pretty much a bigger version of this header. So let's grab that. Let's hit Control G again, just so we can see our layout grid. Let's maybe toss a bit in the middle of the screen here, a little more centered. Let's grab this secondary or subtitle. Let's have it a little further away from it on desktop, maybe 16. We got more space. And now let's put these both, Shift A, put them in an auto layout frame, and we called this one header component. Let's call this one as well header component. Okay, great. We need this image slider, so let's go to our fancy background image here. I'm going to grab it, bring our header component above, and have it look like it's laying on top of this building. Yeah, it looks okay. We need our arrows, so these arrows, and let's also toss them to the right of the screen as well. So Control G just to get rid of these and see how I'm looking. Looking good so far. We need our primary CTA right here. Okay, primary CTA. Can you just come with me, please? Thank you. And let's space it with this header. So let's see. Here we had it at 40. Here we have a lot more space. So let's maybe double that, have it at 80. That's close enough, I think. Also have it a little further to like have it more aligned with the rest of the section. Maybe 106. Yeah, looks okay. Toss these both in a frame and hit Shift A. Great, let's call this header CTA as well. Header CTA. Great. Okay, so we got our header CTA. We got our background image with the sliders. Now, one thing you usually see in common with sliders is you need a way to indicate which slide you're on. It was a little hard to fit that on mobile. You can. It's a little crowded. I chose not to. You can find creative ways to do that. But for desktop, we can use this slider pagination. So let's grab it. So it tells us what slide we're on. Take Control G again, just to see where we are. And let's center it to this header component. So I'm going to select both. I'm holding Shift down to select them both. And I'm going to go to my Align tools and Align vertical centers. Boom. Now we got a slider pagination that tells us which slide we're on. Looking good so far. I think we can move this a little higher. Yeah, there we go. Looks better. And let's add like some secondary buttons. So in this case, I think we should add their social links, so their Facebook, their Instagram. So right when you land on the page, first of all, you get an idea of what you're looking at, their contact, their buttons to call, so the email and phone number, and let's also add their Facebook and Instagram. There they are. Handy dandy. They're in the footer. And let's toss them, somewhere here. We're gonna have to change their colors a bit. So this is white, so let's make it like like this gray color. So it's that color at 48 opacity. And then we're gonna want to style it the same as these buttons. So this is Helvetica New Regular 22. So let's also make these Helvetica New Regular 22. Let's open our column grid. Let's align them to our header component. And let's have them spaced out 16 between each other. And again, put them in a frame. So Shift A, auto layout frame. Call this one social links. Let's align these social links to the bottom of our hero section. Okie doke.
Yeah, boy, oh man.
Okay, we are getting there, ladies and gentlemen. So we got our social links, we got our pagination, we got our header CTA, we got our background image, Option Command G, we got our hero section. So section hero. So far we've got our contact banner, we got our header nav, and we got our section hero. Let's see how all this looks. Looking snazzy, I think. Looking cool. I think this could be spaced out a little more. Let's do 32. Yeah, that looks a little more breezy. Got some room here. I feel like I was getting choked. You know what I'm saying? Not in the good way. So yeah, let's make that a little more breezy. Okay, let's on our next section. This view properties. So we need a slider. We need this body CTA. Okay, so let's do that. Let's first create the body CTA. Open our columns. Grab this guy. Yeah, we also need this background image thing, right? So let's grab that as well and toss that here. Okay.
Hi.
Okay.
Let's put it here. I don't know, I'm just doing this arbitrarily. And let's have the space between each section to be 106. Is that what we said? Is that what you guys were saying? Okay, 106. I won't argue with you guys. 106. I think this could come a little. Okay, I think that looks good. And then let's have it be 106 on the inside as well. It looks okay. Let's grab our little line break here. Bring him down. Let's bring him down. Down. Okay, now we need our secondary CTA. Let's grab that. I think we have a actually nicer secondary CTA for the desktop, and it's right over here. Give it a little bit more pizzazz. So let's keep that here for now. And then let's grab our slider. So our slider consists of an image. So let's add an image. We can add our secondary CTA here on top of the image. Let's just have it centered. Perfect. Let's also have it at 48. A little more style, doing a little more dimensions with these columns. You know, do a little pizzazz, a little bit of snazz. All the things. And then let's add like a secondary, one of these secondary images. Okay. Turn back our columns on. Let's have it run all the way to the right. Bring it up. So now we got a cool looking section, and this is essentially a bigger version of this section, and it's just got more stuff in it because we've got more room on desktop. So that's why it's always a good reason to start with mobile first. You start with the most essential elements and then add a little more style in the bigger screen sizes. So we need our arrows. So let's grab our arrows, because this is also a slider. Toss it in here. And then we need this little bar underneath the slider, because that's the slider style we've been working with. So let's bring it down. Or maybe make it a little larger for a desktop. And let's have it run to the edge of the arrows. Perfect. Here we go. We got a nice looking section so far. So let's start cleaning up a bit. So let's first of all image this background shape plus our secondary CTA here. These three items are our sliders. So let's hit Command Shift G and call this slider. We got our image here, and we got a slider. We got the line break. Yeah, this body, this background shape. This is all section. What do we call this section here? Section body CTA. Okay, let's call this section body CTA. But wait, there's more.
Oh, hell no!
So the only thing that this section is missing is actually a title. So maybe we should add a title. So first, let's go Control G again. And since you guys are really liking these background shapes, let's duplicate it here. Okay. And make it a little smaller maybe. Bring it down, 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 down. And I think I'm gonna have to bring this whole section down. And I want to add, it's gonna be cool, it's gonna be nice, it's gonna be snazzy. Everything is snazzy with me. Okay, let's bring this up. Okay. This O1 because this is our first section, and bam, you got something looking cool. So let's put that behind the image and slider. Yep. And maybe let's grab this pagination again. I think there's another pagination. There it is. Toss it in here as well. And this is our title for this section. Yeah, let's have it aligned to the column. Section 1 buyer. Maybe we just take this guy, this object, and this background shape. Let's put them together. Call them number bar. Let's call it number bar. And let's bring this number bar out of section body CTA, and let's put section body CTA above number bar. Now we got a complete section body CTA with a header, and this number bar is more like a UI piece. So we can move this higher a little. Let's bring number bar a little higher. Kind of like eats that circle. Looks cool. Gives it a little bit of a visual element. And this could almost go into the next section. So we can maybe double this, bring it down, and put section 2. There we go. And have it perfectly aligned with that guy. And let's bring it down to the end. This is the end, my friend.
Stop it. Get some help.
That looks alright. We got our body CTA section. Now we got to build this, the neighborhood section. So let's create the neighborhood section. We have this and we have this. Let's bring them into our canvas. Okay. And I think both these should be in an auto layout frame. So Shift A. The space between them, let's have that be 64. You know what we could do also? Instead of making the shape different, we can just have the spacing on the sides here. Let's see, 64. And let's also have the top and bottom 64. And then we can just give this a color. So whatever color we used here. So let's grab this and let's go with fill. That's 16. Done. I don't know why I didn't do that with the other one, but that's the better way to do it. Let's bring it to the side. So that would be like an end piece. Maybe, yeah. And let's have it centered. So there we go. Yeah. Should we have it centered? I think so. Let's see what it looks like without the columns. No, I think that looks okay. Let's have it like that. Okay. So let's bring in one of our large vertical images, kind of to tie things together. Turn on our columns. Let's see. We can have that there. You can also have that a little bit here. Yeah. Bring it a little higher. Let's go higher. Can bring this down a little. Yeah. Okay. Let's see what you're doing here. Maybe make it so that it's 32 spacing between them. Okay. 32. Bring this up a little. We're essentially making this section, just giving it a little more finesse. Let's say that. And let's add an image. So let's grab this image, plop it in. Have it be at, what do we say here? Okay, 94, not bad. That's not what we said we should make this. We said 106. 106, and I think this should be also 32 then. Yeah, it looks okay. Then what we could do is add another CTA here. Okay. Let's do it. No. Center it. Let's also have it say view properties. So this is just to kind of pull you into another section of the website. And now we got this whole other section already built out. So we started out with this really small section, and we added a lot more finesse in the desktop to give it a little more style. What we could do also is we can, I think what we should do is give these guys a drop shadow. So effects, maybe make that 32 blur. Actually, yeah, 16. Let's go for the blur. Let's go like 64. Let's make it a big number. And let's make it a little darker. Yeah. Yeah. There we go. Let's do the same for the other button. So copy properties. Where's that? Copy properties. Go here. Paste. There we go. Make it stand out a little more. Yeah, it looks nice, huh? Looks nice, dude. I'm liking it. I'm liking it. Section done. Almost there. Hold your breath. We got 1, 2, 3 more sections and we're done. So let's just put these all together. Command Shift G. Call this, what did we call this section before? Section call out. Okay, let's call this one section call out because it calls out. It's pretty much a bunch of buttons being called out. Section call out. Hang in there. We're almost done. Let's grab this one and also add pagination to our section call out. Okay, so section call out should also have pagination, and this one is buyers. So let's make this one as view rentals. View rentals. And this, let's say renters. Okay. So we're gonna have to include that in there. Let's do this. That'll work. And then maybe we align it to the bottom of this too. So let's bring this down. Perfect. Done. Section call out done. Now let's increase the size of our desktop. And let's create the last 2 sections. Should be quicker because we've already built a lot of components. So we got our slider component, which is here, and we got this thing over here, which we'll also need to create. So let's copy our slider. And let's bring it all the way down. And there we go. So we want a slider. We want this header. What do we call it? We called it header. Okay. So let's do that. Shift A. Let's call this header. Header. Turn on our columns again. And let's start styling. So let's bring this over here. What was the spacing between these two? 48. Let's do that as well for here. 48. And this is rental, so let's say view rental. Okay. And let's also do this whole image thing on the side. So let's grab this one. Toss it on the side here as well. Make it a little higher so it kind of like brings them two together, brings the slider and this together and the header together. We're gonna want this number, maybe not with the shape, just to add a little more variety. Okay, let's bring this up a little. Nice. Rentals, we need this pagination. Thank you, Mr. Pagination. 03. Renters. Should make this one locations. And we need to change this as well. So let's do 2. And let's call this one locations. Oh. You know what we should do before we do that? We should grab these and apply auto layout so that we can change them how we want. Locations. Great. Looks good. Let's go down. Also apply auto layout to this. Auto layout. And this one we can keep as renters. Bring it down a little. 03 renters. We offer. Let's make sure they're aligned. Let's see. Yeah, looks good. Okay, so we got this component, which is over here, the properties, so our locations. So this should be view locations. Then we got our rentals, so view rentals. We got our slider there. View rentals, looks good. Let's grab all these. Let's put them in a section. So Command Shift G, and let's call this one section rentals. And we're going to go at 106, so let's stick to our 106 like you guys are saying. 106, done another section. All we have is our contact form. And the good news about the contact form is we built it to be responsive, so we can grab it here from the mobile, toss it in our desktop, bring it all the way down. Let's increase its size to be a little larger. Let's also increase the sides, so 32 from the sides, maybe 40 top bottom. Let's have it be somewhere around here. I think we should also maybe add one of these background shapes, and let's give this section a little more finesse. So put it behind the contact form. Let's yeah, why not, eh? Why not, huh? Do that a little. Grab our remaining image, toss that on the side like we've been doing. Maybe bring this guy a little here so we have some space. Toss that on the side, put it higher, bring this down. Maybe we decrease this size a bit. Oh, so hell, decrease the size of the form so it's a little more compact. Yeah, that looks better. Yeah, looking good. And I think we can call that a contact section. So let's grab all these items. Command Shift G, section contact form. We're almost there. Hold your breath. Let's make sure the spacing is all right. 106, like you guys have been saying. Let's maybe bring this higher. Yeah, I like that. I like that. I like that. Okay. Now make 106. Good. All that's left is the footer, and that's the easiest part. Let's grab this footer. Let's toss it at the bottom. If you want to build this footer manually, go ahead, or follow my Figma crash course, and there'll be tons of components there that we can build along together. Boom. Toss our footer. Have it a little, maybe 180, a little larger spacing to end the page. And we are done.
Wow! Wow!
We've built a mobile and a desktop version of a landing page, or a website, sorry, for a real estate agency. I think it looks pretty good. I hope you guys agree. Let me know what you think in the comments. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That is how you build a responsive website. The main thing to consider here is when you start with your mobile screen first, so that you have less space, so that you have more constraints, so that you focus on adding the most essential elements, and then go to bigger screen sizes. Usually add a tablet screen and then a desktop, and then get more creative as you go up in size. If you got any questions, please leave them in the comments, and I'll be happy to get back to you. And like and subscribe to the channel if you like what you're seeing, and I will catch you in the next video. See ya.